Yeah, can we start with questions? Everybody agrees, but nobody's going to ask.
What question should we start with?
I got to feed you a question.
Do they exist?
What is a soulmate, and do they exist?
Is there only one? Yes.
Is there only one?
How do you know if you found them? Yeah.
How do you get through conflict?
Already,
Do you regret asking? Just
you haven't even met him yet, and you want to get past conflicts? What are you expecting? That's it. All the esoteric questions. Okay, here's how I want to go about this whole thing. I want to make sense of this little sentence. There is nothing that a man can offer a woman, and there is nothing a woman can offer a man. Because whatever it is, you can get it from somebody else. So there is nothing that makes a man necessary in a woman's life, and there is nothing that makes a woman necessary in a man's life. True or false?
False.
Okay. By the end of the evening, I hope that will be true and it will make sense. Because this is a big part of our problem. We think that we can get something from each other, and we're always disappointed. In fact, many studies have proven beyond a doubt that men are not good for women. And women are not good for men. Because a man is much better off without a woman. And a woman is much better off without a man. And what has happened in our society? The exact opposite. Men and women should get to know each other. From what age? 4. It's a disaster. We don't get to know each other, even if you start at 4, because we have started at 4. We don't know each other. We're still puzzled. Not only that, by getting to know each other, we fail to get to know ourselves. A 4-year-old a 4-year-old boy who already understands girls, he's in trouble. He's not supposed to understand girls. They're supposed to remain a total mystery forever. Anyway, the worst thing I hear during marriage counseling, the worst thing is a man says, I figured her out. Now I know she's in trouble. He figured her out. It's a disaster. You don't figure her out. So, if men and women are disasters for each other and you're better off without, that would explain why God invented marriage. Because marriage means you stop being a woman and you become a wife. And you stop being a man and you become a husband. A quick example, a wife is very upset because every time they go out to any event, her husband is always flirting with the women. So she drags him off for counseling or therapy or whatever she thinks he needs. And the therapist or the counselor explains to her that she's overreacting. She has nothing to worry about. Flirting with the women doesn't mean he's about to divorce you, or that he doesn't love you, or that he's cheating on you. It doesn't mean that at all. A man in the presence of women likes to show off. He likes the attention. It's just a man thing. Don't worry about it. She says, that's exactly my problem. He's doing a man thing, but he's a husband. A husband has the same needs as a man. That's not good. That means he has not become a husband. And that's frightening. That's disturbing. So in this case, yeah, men like to show off in front of women. It's a male thing, the peacock syndrome. But a husband has no such need. So if he's still doing that, in most cases, when he's home, he's a husband. But as soon as he gets out into public, he goes back to being a man. The truth is that in our society today, nobody wants to be a husband. It's embarrassing. And nobody wants to be a wife. It's depressing. Wives are desperate. That's all they ever are. And that's why when married women get together for an evening, they call it a girls' night out. Not a wives' night out. No, that's ridiculous. They want to have some fun. Wives have no fun. So not only is it not a wives' night out, it's not even a woman's night out. You got to go back to being a girl last time you had fun. And part of that is the media. The mockery of marriage and of wives and of husbands. The way wives are depicted in the media, why would you want to be a wife? There's no glamour in it. And why would you want to be a husband? There's no greater wimp, there's no greater loser than husbands. Look at the commercials. So that's why most commercials involve single people in their 30s eating potato chips. It's about as serious as they want to get. And if they show married couples, it's always the guy is such a wimp that the wife has to wake up in the middle of the night to get him the NyQuil so that he can sleep. Who wants to be a husband after that? So this is the disaster. People get married, she remains a woman, he remains a man, and if you remember, men and women are no good for each other, and they do not get along. So of course, there's going to be trouble. That's where the concept of soulmate comes in. If you're going to marry a woman, or you're going to marry a man, you're going to be in trouble. The only way a marriage can work is if the person you're marrying is your soulmate. So even in the language that we use, this woman says, I've been trying to get married for 6 years. Where are all the men? And I said, that is disgusting. All the men is none of your business. You're not marrying all the men. She says, no, I meant a man. I said, you haven't met a man? She says, somebody special. Haven't met anybody special? Where do you live? She says, no, come on, I mean the one for me. In 3.5 minutes, we went from all the men down to the one for me. It's not hard to find the men, it's not hard to find a man, and it's not hard to find a special man. They're all over the place. But the one, yeah, that's a little more difficult. But what do you call the one for me? Not a man, not a special man. The one for me, also known as husband. So I am looking for my husband, not for a nice guy. And that's why you sometimes marry a guy and he's not nice. Because you weren't looking for a nice guy, you were looking for your husband. And your husband's not a nice guy. What are you going to do? Or in reverse, you're not looking for a woman, a great woman, a special woman. No, you're looking for your wife. Otherwise, you're not interested. Let me tell you how serious this problem is. A man is 52 years old. He comes home to his 49-year-old wife, and he says, we just hired a new secretary, and she is absolutely gorgeous. Problem? Problem?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Why? Huh?
Because she's probably a lousy secretary.
I have never heard that response before. Why is that a problem for the wife, not for the business? Why is that a problem? Do you hear what you're saying? She's 49 years old. The secretary is 21. And she's competing with the 21-year-old.
Why is she competing?
Exactly. Why is she competing? Why is she threatened by a 21-year-old? Because she's gorgeous. If at 49 you can be threatened by a good-looking girl, your life is not livable. You live with anxiety, you live with stress. Every time your husband walks out the door, you need antidepressants. You can't live like this. It's cruel and unusual punishment. So what should be? It should be you're married to your soulmate. Everybody else can be as gorgeous as they want. It's irrelevant to me, because all I was interested is in my soulmate. That's the essence of the concept. Soulmate means there is one person out there meant for you. The rest are all gorgeous, but irrelevant. So you see something gorgeous, you say, wow, that's gorgeous. You see a really good-looking car, you say, wow, that's expensive. And you keep on walking. That's how it should be. So the idea of a soulmate means I have found what is mine, and now we can become one. That's it. It's not conquest. It's not proving anything. It's not a rivalry.
Is the problem that she's insecure?
Society makes people insecure. The way we think about relationships, we're insecure. I remember when Avraham and Sarah went down to Egypt, Avraham says, wow, you're good looking. Say you're my sister, because otherwise they'll kill me in order to take you. Because they were very moral people, you see, and they didn't believe in adultery.
The kidnapping was fine.
And killing the husband was a solution. I mean, what do you want, the woman to live by herself? She's a poor widow, you take her in. So that twisted morality, right? But what does it mean? Avraham says, oh, you're good looking. But did he just notice for the first time? He always knew she was beautiful. But that was never a threat. Because in a normal way of thinking, beauty and intimacy are not related. But in Egypt, the morality or the mentality was, if it's beautiful, I got to have it. which is criminal thinking. If it's a beautiful painting, I'm going to steal it. If it's a beautiful diamond, I'm going to walk off with it. Why? Hey, it's beautiful. And everything beautiful suddenly becomes desirable. That's twisted thinking. So it's almost like dangerous to be good looking. What kind of society is this? So the question is this. By nature and by the healthy lifestyle that we're supposed to have, should a man be completely content in his marriage? And no matter how good looking somebody else is, he's not jealous if she's married to somebody else. He's not looking to make some conquest or to get into an affair. He's happy. Is that possible? It's not possible, then life is impossible. Then nothing is secure. You can't trust anybody. On the contrary, if a man hires a beautiful secretary and he's afraid to mention it to his wife,
That's the problem.
aha. Because he is already not feeling so worthy, trustworthy. So now he's afraid to say it because she's going to think because that's what he's thinking. Anyway, so let's go get to the beginning of this whole thing. Where does the notion of soulmate come from? So we're told right in the beginning of Bereshis, in the description of creation, very strange thing. God creates the first human being, male and female. Already weird. Then God performs an operation, separates these Siamese twins, and they become two independent people. Immediately after that, God says to them, get married and become one. Cleave to your wife and become one. They must have been puzzled. We were one. You separate us and then you tell us to become one? What's going on? How is it that two people could become one? It seems humanly impossible. Two separate people, two different needs, two different personalities, particularly if you're from Mars and she's from Venus. I mean, how do you become one? Common life goals does not really make you one. Those are all very nice features and very nice qualities, but I need your respect. How are we one? I have what you don't. How are we one? You have what I need. How are we one? So here's the conundrum. If we need something from each other, that emphasizes our separateness. I am me and you are you. I'm lacking something, you have something. Let's make a deal. That doesn't make us one. On the other hand, you're right. When you get married, you're supposed to become complete, which means you were missing something before. So first let's get the information, then we'll get the explanation. Adam and Eve were one, like two sides of a coin. One face was male, the other face was female. There's no stronger oneness than that. I mean, absolutely inseparable. Two sides of a coin. I gave one of my grandchildren a silver dollar for Hanukkah gelt, and the kid was sitting there desperately trying to peel it to get to the chocolate inside. Eventually he throws it away and he said, this is not good. Can't peel it. So when you're connected, like two sides of a coin, you can't peel it apart. It's real oneness. When you become one in marriage, Not exactly the same thing, is it? No matter how one you become, it's not like you were. So what benefit came from the separation, and what virtue does the oneness of marriage have over the oneness that we were created with? This is the most beautiful concept you can possibly imagine. When they were one by creation, they were one back to back. God separated them so that they can come together and become one face to face. So we learn a few things. Number one, human beings, male and female, can become one because we were originally one. We're just going back to our truest nature. If it was not our nature to begin with, we wouldn't be capable of changing our nature to become one. But our nature actually is to be one. So our separation was not an improvement. All separation is unholy. God is one. God is all about oneness. Separation is not godly. So the separation was not an improvement. The oneness that marriage will produce is an improvement. So it was worth having that very delicate surgery in order to be one face to face, even though it's not the same inseparableness that we had before. But just to be able to be face to face is worth everything. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. We have a Sunday night program for VIPs that you might be interested in. It's informal. It's questions and answers. It's conversation. It's really relaxed. It's really pleasant, enjoyable, informative, and kind of community-like. It's a Sunday night program. There's a Wednesday morning program for the VIPs, and there's a Wednesday night program. All of it just conversation, casual, laid back, unscripted. So join us. Take a look. Click the link below and see which of the three suits you best, and join us for some enjoyable conversation.